Today I'm sitting with Gail Faction from Single Brass Faction, a musician and songwriter from El Paso, Texas. How are you, Gail?
I'm doing good. How are you? Long time no speak.
I'm doing
Long time no
fine.
see.
Yeah, I'm fine. You're a musician and you write songs. How did you get into music?
I started at a really young age. My dad used to play guitar. He was also an avid golfer, so he would bring all his friends from the golf course over to the house, and they would bring all their amps and play guitar, and they would wake me up because I was probably like 6 or 7, kind of peek around the corner. Of course, I'd get caught because of my I wasn't sly back then. They'd invite me to come sit on the amps and kind of just participate, just like listen. So after that, I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. Like to hear everybody just working together to create songs and stuff. I thought it was really neat.
So, how has music impacted your life?
It's really helped me meet a lot of people that I probably wouldn't have met. From an early age, I was listening to all different kinds of music that people wouldn't guess that I would listen to just based on my outer shell. But I've met some really world-class people that play world-class music. It's just a really interesting conduit for just meeting some of the coolest people, such as yourself, and all the way from, I forget where you're from or where you're based out of.
That's Sweden.
That's right, yeah, Sweden. So never met anyone from Sweden before till today. Well, till the first time we spoke, anyway.
Yeah.
That's cool. But see, just things like that. I mean, who would have thought I'd be meeting someone from Sweden 3 months ago? Not me, that's for sure.
No, yeah, I agree. Music does take you places you never thought it would. But also about your writing. You write songs yourself. What do you do when you have a writer's block, or do you ever get that? And how do you handle it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think anyone that's ever been a writer has ever not gotten it, whether you're writing books, just trying to be creative, songs. I think people just come over that one hurdle once in a while. And what I do personally is in my early songwriting days was I would try to force it, like force it to fit, like force the song to finish.
Hmm.
And what I realized is I just need to put everything down and just listen to something that I would never even listen to before. For some reason, that just wakes up some other part of my head, and I will not necessarily go back to it right away, but I'll just do something completely different from what I was doing or what I've been doing for the past week or the past 2 weeks, month, whatever. I'll just do something different. So if I've never been to a certain location, I'll go visit that. If I've never heard a certain type of music, I'll go listen to that. If I just put myself in a whole nother environment after I've done that and I've been able to absorb it a little bit, clears it right up.
I mean, that makes sense.
Exactly. I mean, jog creativity, you think everything's kind of interconnected. So even though it's something completely different, it's still similar to something that you've experienced before. So being able to marry the unfamiliar with the familiar, I think is what the key is, like just experiencing something different, but it's really not that different. Going to somewhere new is really not that different, you know. People do it all the time, I'm sure, starting new jobs or going to a city they've never been to. It happens every day. I just approach it differently, I guess.
Hmm. Do you ever, as a musician, I know we touched upon that last time we spoke. So, do you ever consider how your art might be interpreted in a negative way or in a positive way? And does that bother you?
One thing I learned in comparing something to something else, the more extreme the example, the more it's absorbed by somebody. Like I wouldn't say necessarily say shock value, but if you're relating something like, for example, I have one song called "In My Sights," and the line says, "Cut my throat, you can't silence all the words inside me." That's a pretty extreme visual, for having someone tell you to not speak.
Hmm.
like even if you do something as extreme as that, I'm still going to get my point across, and that's one of the things that techniques that I use with my songwriting. So a lot of the stuff on the surface is extreme. I wouldn't even say extreme, but it's edgy.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's wise. I think a lot of musicians today don't reveal their like the actual meaning behind their songs, and also a lot of the listeners don't actually listen to the words, but rather listen to that given artist's music just because they're famous or whatever, or just because it's cool to listen to that particular artist right now. And it's
Right,
not a lot about, the meaning or the words. It's more about the image. You could say that. I don't know.
right. Like the depth has become shallow, and I
Hmm.
think mainly that is due to a big part of, I guess I'll call it the music industry, but the music industry just trying to put something new out so frequently. You just enjoy it while it's there, and then there's another one or from somebody else. You're almost bombarded with music.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's no, it definitely. I feel like music has definitely, in a way, maybe not very noticeable, but it's kind of lost its value because you have so much of it, and like so much of it is like not actually there to like spread a message, but rather just to, exist. So it's
Yeah,
like,
for a millisecond in people's lives almost.
yeah, no, but yeah, that's a little sad, I think. Do you only do music, or do you work on the side, or is like being a musician and a songwriter your main job? Or yeah.
No, I still have to eat, so I stopped to eat. So I have a day job. My goal lately has been to try to learn 5 to 10 things a day.
Wow, five
A
to
lot.
ten. It
I mean,
is.
it could be something small. It could be something small. I count everything. So if I learned there's only one bag of potato chips, and I thought I had three, well, I just learned something today. Better get more potato chips. But it's one of those things where if you just keep exercising your brain and looking at things a different perspective, listening to other people's perspective, understanding what motivates people to do what they do, it really does. To me, it affects the way you approach things. You approach things differently when you have all those different perspectives, as opposed to thinking that you're always right, which is what I think. I think I'm always right, but I'm slowly trying to break out of that habit.
Yeah, I think that's really nice. I think that's an amazing way to practice not only like changing your own perspective, but also being more self-aware of what you think and what you actually believe and so on.
Exactly.
Um, no, that's amazing. Actually, that's one of the reasons is perspective as to why I like had the idea to create this podcast because I want to discuss everything. Like nothing is off limits. Obviously,
Right.
some of the things I'm gonna need to discuss by myself if they are a little too provocative or just too out of my
Here's the way I
personal.
look at it. Some
Yeah,
people are
go
going to
ahead.
get offended, and that's okay. Get offended. It doesn't affect anything. It doesn't
No,
affect
yeah.
anybody other than you. So, so if you're having a conversation to expand your mind and to expand your knowledge, that's a noble thing to do, is to try to get someone else's perspective and understanding so you can have different perspectives. So I would never shine that effort in a bad light.
Hmm. Well, that's nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, but yeah, I feel like we also discussed about that last time about how yeah, you should be yourself and just do the things you want to do and not, because you don't want to lie on your deathbed and be regretting all the stuff that you didn't say or you didn't do just because of the people that you were surrounding yourself with.
Exactly. And at any funeral I've ever been to, they don't announce how much money you had in the bank or in your wallet or anything like that. they look at what impact did you leave on people. Some people have a hard time coming up with something, but I think the more you try to help people, I think if you just approach things that way, you'll be all right.
Of course. You said boiling down everything to intention.
Yeah. As an example, if you're helping someone move a glass table,
Mm.
or someone's helping you move a glass table, I should say, and they trip over their shoelaces, the glass breaks, would you be mad at them? I kind of wouldn't, because their intention was to help me. That clearly was an accident. So if you boil it down to intention to help or hurt, that tells you right there what their intention was and how you should react to that.
Yeah.
Now, if their intention was to cause harm to you, that's a whole nother story.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree. And that was a really nice thing that I learned from you last time we spoke. And I've been really thinking about that lately, and just trying not to get mad at stuff that is happening, because I'm like, okay, I have to boil this down to their intention, and just it really helps, and really helps you be more self-aware. And
I think so. I would agree. If someone was helping you move that glass table and you got so mad you didn't talk to them for, say, a month, what did you really gain? The glass table's still not fixed, right?
yeah,
You just
yeah,
kind of lost a friend that was willing to help you out, is all you lost.
yes.
So what can you control? Your reaction.
Mm. No, of course. I think that has also a lot to do with like how, not a lot, but we could connect it to how can like connected to, or not connected, but obsessed and just fixated on materialistic things over human interactions and human relationships we as people are.
Right.
All right, Gil. So I've heard and seen that you are releasing a new record.
Yes. It's been 16 months in the making. I started it last January
Wow.
and have gone through studio changes. What I'll be doing is I'll actually be flying down to Las Vegas on May 8th. I'll be finishing the record down there, re-recording it for the third time. And then I'll be booking some shows down there for the 12th and 13th. And then I'll be flying back on the 14th. Once I'm there, I will actually be remixing and remastering a record that I released in 2017 or 2018 called
Mhm.
Elixir. And that's when I had the trio, the electric trio. I'd like to get that out as well. And so I know Vegas sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm actually going down there to work. So, but I might sneak in a card game here or there. I'll send you a copy once it's done.
Please do.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm really excited for it, because I'm not sure if that was the same record though, but I know we talked about how you reached 12 countries in 2 months with, no, that's not the same record, but still, it's just such an amazing thing. 12 countries in 2 months with phone recorded guitar videos. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was just with cell phone videos. I have these two. I met these two podcasters. One of them's in Germany and one of them's in Croatia, and they've been super supportive of getting my songs out there. I really owe that growth to them. One podcast is Goran's Picks, and the other one is Just Rock Radio. I actually released the single Breathless to them before it was eligible to be released, just because they've been such huge supporters. So shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for, like, really from the bottom of my heart, man. It's awesome. It's awesome to be able to team up with people that I've never met. It's just nice to have musicians support musicians.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, definitely. It sounds cool. I kind of almost wish that I was doing that. No,
Well, it's
yeah.
never too late to start.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
All right.
I like the direction that this podcast goes because, even though I am a musician, having conversations that are outside of music, is also important because I
Mm-hmm.
think it allows people to understand, you know, what's going on in a musician's brain because I think we're clinically insane to be honest with you.
Why would you say that?
Well, it's like balancing creativity is a double-edged sword. So the creative mind at times does not stop. The creative mind is hard to harness.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get inspired to do something, like you feel like you just need to do it. Like there's nothing that's going to stop you. So balancing that I wouldn't call it impulsive, but it's balancing that character trait with normal everyday society of wake up at this time every day, do this every day, with this routine situation. I struggle greatly with balancing those two things out. There's times when I have a hard time going to sleep because I just have like this earworm of this melody or something that I just can't get out of my head. And
Yeah.
so if I have to get up for work, what do I do? I just suffer. That's that's what I do is I suffer.
So, is there anything that you'd like to play for us?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna play a tune off the record Lands and Grooves. This song's called Angel on My Shoulder. And
Mhm.
I actually wrote it after I had started recording it the first time,
Okay.
in between the time that I recorded it the second time. And I kind of changed the record around just to include that one. Actually, Breathless falls into that same category. So I wrote those two songs in between those two recording sessions. And I think I don't know, I think they were really important to add to the record. I think it brought a lot of it brought a lot of different aspects of songwriting, of my songwriting out that I didn't necessarily have before.
Hmm.
Hope you like it.
There's an angel on my shoulder, but the devil's taking over. The night is still young, and I don't see a ring on your little finger. So, girl, let's go have some fun. And if you want, we'll take a drive in the middle of the night. You know I'm the one. We've been driving for a couple hundred miles and look, up comes the sun. And I still don't even know your name, dear. I don't even know your name. Maybe I'm the one to blame. Yeah, maybe I'm the one to blame. And I still don't even know your name, dear. Maybe I'm the one to blame here. Yeah. And up the road there's a bar with a band, and I know they got some really cold beer. They know my name, they know the whiskey that I drink, so I figured we could chill right here. And if you want, we'll have a really good time once we're in the clear. So take your time, put your little hand in mine. If you need a victim, I'll volunteer. And I still don't even know your name, dear. still don't even know your name, dear. And maybe I'm the one to blame here, yeah. And I still don't even know your name, dear.
And I still don't even know your name.
And maybe I'm the one to blame.
Yes, I know. I already know. I'm the one to blame here. Oh, yeah.
All right. So where can we find some of your music and everything else that you have going on? Yeah.
Well, definitely, I'm definitely on social media, YouTube. So if you just search Single Brass Faction, you'll find me on the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Play, all your streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna add all the links in the description below so it's easy for you guys to find Gil. Thank you so much for having the time and the will to be a part of this podcast. I'm really grateful for you being here, being able to be a part of it.
but no, I appreciate you taking the time out to interview me, and I just really thank you.
Thank you.